All right, well, welcome back to the Workplace Safety Show. Once again, Jay Smith here along with Daryn Llewellyn, and I want to thank you once again for joining us here on another episode. Just a couple things real quick here. I wanted to let everybody know that we're going to be doing another 3-day hands-on electrical safety class coming up in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. Good place to be, I guess, about any time of the year. But August 23rd, 24th, 25th. So you can find out more information on our website there, llewellyn.com. And you know, if you're in that area, obviously it's a good hands-on training experience, and we'd love to see you out there. Daryn, we're going to kind of revisit a topic that I don't know, about 4 or 5 episodes ago we had spoken a little bit on, which was electrical safety. Once again, it's something that's kind of coming up a lot that we're hearing about how organizations are approaching their electrical safety training. And you get this a lot as you travel around and do talks and engage folks on what they're currently doing. So let's talk a little bit more about electrical safety training here.
Yeah, the training is sometimes an overlooked part of it. Most folks end up doing it eventually. They don't necessarily do it properly. There's a couple things and a couple of things that are commonly missed in the training. And one of those that has been coming up a lot lately is the depth of the training. Too many people look at electrical safety training as something I need to check off, to something I need to put in, mark done on the checklist or something. And they get training for free. They get training 2 hours thrown in. They bought a bunch of FR clothing. They bought some meters. They bought whatever, some tools or something, and somebody threw in some training. They said, "Oh, this will qualify the people." Mm-hmm. Well, you can't get qualified in 2 hours. Right. It's not going to happen. And the best way to explain this really is the topics that are in the training. One of those topics that's required by OSHA, it's required by 70E, is to be able to take a voltmeter. You have to be able to take a voltmeter, prove the absence or presence of voltage, and to determine nominal voltage. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to do all those things to work as a qualified person around electricity. And that doesn't mean a 10-minute class on how to read a multimeter. Right. It doesn't mean a 30-minute class on how to read a multimeter. I can teach your 8-year-old how to read a multimeter in just a few minutes. It's pretty simple, especially the way that they've got them today. It's not like the old Simpson 260s or something. It's these new fancy digital meters. You just say voltage, do it for me. Right. But that's not the important part. That's the easy part. Right. The hard part is where to measure. Mm-hmm. Where to measure and how to measure, and not get killed doing it. For instance, OSHA requires we measure phase to phase and phase to ground. Where are those? What if you measure between each phase and you get 480 volts, and each phase to ground you get 277? Well, you got to know what kind of 3-phase system that is. It's a 4-wire Y system, pretty common in most places. What if you measure between each phases and you get 480 between each phase, but 2 phases to ground you also get 480. Mm-hmm. In 1 phase to ground you get 0, and it's a corner grounded delta system, and someone has to be trained to understand that. Maybe you measure between each phase and you get 240. 2 phases to ground you get 120, but that 3rd leg to ground you get 208. What does that mean?
So the question comes up a lot is, well, I've got electricians that have been here for 20 years, and I mean, surely they know that, right? I mean, is this, I think the evolution of folks looking at training is the evolution of, before that was maybe something that was required as a skill. Mm-hmm. Now it is a skill, but it's a skill that's required to do it safely. Right. Is that kind of where this is going a little bit?
Yeah. And I've been doing maintenance training, teaching maintenance people how to troubleshoot and how to use a voltmeter since 1989. So how many? 20-some years, a long time. I've been doing it for a long time, and you'd be surprised at the people that you would assume would know all of these 3-phase distribution systems and don't. Some of these are you hire a person that was an electrician for 20 years in a certain plant. you move those to a new plant and maybe the totally different three-phase distribution system.
Yeah, I think I think you hit it a while ago with, it's very easy to turn a dial from volts to amps to ohms, and yeah, maybe you understand what that is required, but as you mentioned, what the readings are telling you is where, if it's not approached properly, and maybe you learned that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it is something that's getting a little bit more momentum, along with 70E and this whole safety culture that you're trying to.
And I use the voltmeter as one example.
Absolutely.
There's lots of other examples in 70E training where people just aren't taking it deep enough. They aren't going deep enough. They think, well, we just give them a couple hours of training that somebody gave us for free, and we'll call it a done deal. And that's not the case. It's in every public presentation I do, I say you need to do 70E, and don't do it for compliance. Do it to prevent injuries.
Yeah.
If you're just doing a couple hours of training, not going deep enough, you're just doing it for compliance. You won't be preventing any injuries. So I want to make sure that all training is done deep enough so you actually are making progress in preventing someone from getting hurt.
And going back full circle here with what we started the show today is this, I mentioned this class we're having coming up in Honolulu, is a 3-day safety class. And we actually started doing this class at the urging of a lot of our clients, because a lot of our clients were asking us, well, you guys do hands-on troubleshooting and you do safety classes, but now we need this. So, you can kind of bring these, electrical safety as well as these skills that you're talking about. You can bring those together and make it a learning how to use a meter safely class. Which is what what Llewellyn does with this 3-day NFPA 70E plus class. So, if you're out there listening to this today and you have any further questions on this topic, by all means, reach out to Daryn, or reach out to myself.
And 70E plus is a cool class because our customers built it. Our customers put it together.
Exactly.
For us.
Yeah, they urged us to do it, and it's been a popular class, and we're really glad that we can take this kind of feedback from our viewers and our clients, and help them, kind of help them along with their entire safety culture. Just one of the pieces of training here today. I'm sure we'll dive into several more on another episode. But once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll be talking to you real soon.